What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am Corey, one half of HisHerbs, and we are some small-time gardeners growing food in the high desert of Southern California. I discovered something the other day. Well, I didn't. What happened was, okay, I found a method of watering that I've known about, and you've probably heard of it before too, but I've known about it for years. I've just never tried it because of the way that it was presented. But so let me tell you how I came across this method of watering. Let me tell you why I believe it's an effective way of watering. Let me put it that way. I think it's going to be really effective, probably even better than the 5 gallon or the buckets that I make with the 1/4 inch tubing in the emitter, the slow drip emitter. I think it's going to be even better than that. But I don't know yet. I'm making that claim right now, but I'm not sure. But let me tell you how I came to this point. Last week, I made some worm casting tea. Okay, that was it. I made some worm casting tea. I had me a bucket like this, these little, however big buckets they are, however many gallons they are. I had one of these. I put 1.5 cups of 1.5 cups of worm castings into the bucket, filled it with water. But I put the worm castings in this pillowcase. And this pillowcase is just a cheap pillowcase from the Dollar Tree. Nothing special, nothing more, nothing less. So I put the worm castings in here, and I put, bucket of water, and I had it out like this. Okay. So what happened was the next day when I came out, you're supposed to let it sit for 24 hours. Unless you aerate it, then you could let it go a little bit longer. But I wasn't aerating it, so 24 hours. So when I went out the next morning, so I did that at about 7 o'clock at night, knowing that, it wasn't going to be ready technically until 7 o'clock the next night, 7 p.m. the next day. So when I came out, like in the morning, I noticed that the rug outside was wet in like such a big area. It was probably the space that was wet was you probably could fit 6 or 7 of these 5-gallon buckets in this area, inside this one soaked area. And I was like, oh yeah. I knew about that method because the method was always presented in a way where you can use like a soda bottle or a water bottle and some yarn or some string. And I'm like, yeah, it probably would work, but I never thought, hey, let me try it on a large scale. So after I did that, I was like, yo, like that's a lot of water. And when I was watching the drip, it was a nice, steady, consistent drip. Like I was like, okay, like this, like I think we're onto something here. Like I said, this isn't revolutionary. This is nothing new. This is actually an old method, and you see it all over YouTube. The thing about it is, when I was seeing it, it was always on a smaller scale. Like I said, a water bottle or soda bottle, a 2-liter bottle, something like that. I never thought about using it from a 5-gallon bucket or anything larger. Okay. But I was like, man, it works better than I thought it would work. Okay. I honestly, I knew it would work, but I was like, like how effective is it really going to be? But I guess the idea is once the soil is wet, all you're really doing is trying to keep it wet. So that's why the slow drip works. That's why you make the buckets the way that I make the buckets with the emitter and the tubing. You water in, and then you put your bucket down there, and then once the soil once it's wet, the bucket helps to maintain that moisture. So that's the same principle with this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do an experiment. We're gonna put one of these together and show how effective it is. And this is gonna be good information for anybody that's thinking about using this method. People that may be trying to go on vacation and don't have a way to they don't have the irrigation in place, so maybe they want to do something like this. For whatever reason that a person may need this information, they're gonna have it, and they're gonna actually have see the results that they need to see to make an informed decision about whether or not it's something they want to do. All right, so let's go ahead and knock this out. So super simple, super easy to make, and I'm actually excited to show y'all this. Not like I said, not that it's new, not that it's new to me or new to you, but I'm excited to show y'all this because once again I just didn't think about doing it. So let's go. All right, y'all. So we're gonna keep this quick and easy. So this is my water, the same bucket I used that day, same pillowcase that I used that day. Right back here we have a grape. This is a Thompson seedless. Right back here. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna just put this pillowcase in this water. Right now, obviously I had some stuff in it to weigh it down the day that I did it. So you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. Let's put something in there just to weigh it down because right now it wants to float, and that probably doesn't make a difference. But I'm trying to recreate the same conditions as when I originally did the test. So I'm gonna just grab this rock, or I originally did the worm casting tea. So I'm gonna grab this rock right here, put this in there. And all I did was put the stuff in there like that and draped it along the side. I'm gonna put more in there so that there you go. So now let's take a look. So I'm not expecting this to happen like right now, obviously. It probably would happen if I actually soaked the pillowcase. It probably would take less time for the pillowcase to soak up the water. It probably would be more effective. So let's try that. But first, before we do that, let me show you that this stuff is dry, right? Haven't watered it yet. Stick my finger down, you see that? It's it may be a little bit of moisture down. Yeah, it's not completely dry at the bottom, but it's borderline there. So let's go ahead and soak this, get this thing completely soaked. And see if that speeds up the process. See what happens. And you see that steady stream just because it's soaking wet right now. But I didn't expect that to happen like right now because we just started everything. But I do expect tomorrow that when we come out and check it, that it's gonna be a significant difference in the level of moisture in that soil. And I had to let this this planter dry out a bit so that we can see, how effective it works. And as you can see, it's got the little drip going right now, but we're not going to count that. We're going to just say that that's the beginning stages. So tomorrow we're going to come check on it and see how much of that area is actually watered. So see you guys in the morning. All right, guys, so it's day 2. Let's go check on our bucket. All right, so here we are. So as you can see, it's got a nice steady drip. Let me see. 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. So about a 5-second drip between, 5 seconds between each drip. 1, 2, 5. Yep. About 5 seconds between each drip. And you can see that here's the wet spot right here where it's been dripping all night. Now, yeah. So yesterday I got my finger all the way into this pot before I started to feel any level of moisture. Right now, I'm almost at the second knuckle, and it's wet right there. So let's see how it looks on the other side. And yeah, there's moisture down here, over here too. Now, I don't know if y'all remember seeing this yesterday, but there was really no moisture down here. I got bees buzzing by my head because I'm over here by this weed. No, that's not a weed. That's some greens that's going to seed. But yeah, so that's those two sides. Not really in the back over here. It is. I got to go a little bit deeper before I get that moisture. But I do get it. I am hitting it, so this thing actually worked. And y'all saw how dry this was yesterday. Like this thing was really dry. So it's working. It's working. And let's take a look inside the bucket. As you can see, it's, you guys remember how high it was, the water level in the bucket yesterday. It's going down quite a bit, but that's a good thing because, we're going to lose some to evaporation and stuff like that, but some of it's gone in here as well, and that's what we wanted. So you guys saw the method. It works. It gets my stamp of approval. Wow, right? So, and it's something that I'm gonna be using more often, as well as the bucket that I make with the poly tubing, right? That section over there by those grapes, they're isolated. They're away from the rest of the garden. We have a lemon tree, a plum tree, a peach tree, two grape plants, and they are away from everything else. So they're not going to be a part of the irrigation for the main part of the garden. So what I was going to do anyway was going to get a 30 or 50, 55 gallon drum barrel and set up an irrigation system up there just for those plants. But now that I have this method, I'm going to use this method instead. And each plant is going to have its own individual bucket. And I'm going to do it the same exact way. And that should be sufficient. So you guys seen it. You see that it works. Right now it has 5 seconds between each drip, but that's more than enough, and it's getting down a few inches into the soil, and it's watering at that level. So that's really good. That's really good. That takes a lot of burden off of me, because sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I forget about that section up there when I'm watering if I'm trying to hand water everything else. I'll forget about that section up there. That's why it's important that I have something up there to irrigate everything up there, because don't want anything to die. Don't want to lose anything, right? So like I said, you guys saw it. Now you have the results firsthand. If you guys like it, you guys can apply it to your garden. I'm gonna use it. I think it'll be really good for something like if you just don't want to have to water every single day or every couple of days or whatever, or if you're going out of town for a couple of days and you don't want anything to die off, that'll be a good thing to use. You don't have to use that size bucket. Obviously, you can use a smaller bucket, or you can use a water bottle and some yarn and some string, like they'd be showing you on those little 5-minute garden hack videos, whatever you want to call them, right? But now you have this to add to your Rolodex or your arsenal of garden hacks. So with that being said, guys, it was a pleasure doing this little quick experiment with you guys, and hopefully you learned something. If you did, hit the like button. If you haven't already subscribed, you know what to do. Hit that little button as well. Hit the notification bell to let you know when we upload these videos, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace